I remember when I got my first phone. It was a Samsung Galaxy S3, and it opened my world to the App Store and mobile games. Before that, I had an MP5 which had some old games on it, but it had no internet capabilities. On my Samsung, I remember games like Rope Escape, Jetpack Joyride, Subway Surfers before it became Brain Rot, but there were two games that stand out to me now in particular, only because they no longer exist. Riverman Media are two brothers, so it is in fact indie. They specialize in 2D games. There is a website that is still available that shows Pizza vs. Skeletons along with 9 other games. Pizza vs. Skeletons is a big, ridiculous 2D platform game designed from the ground up for iOS. You control a 25-foot tall pizza as it battles a horde of undead rivals on land, sea, and in outer space. Pizza vs. Skeletons was Apple's iPhone Game of the Week on February 16th, 2012. Now, while it does say Apple iPhone game, as we already established, I had a Galaxy S3. So for a time, it was actually on the Google Play Store. It is still on the Apple App Store, however, so if you have an iPhone, you're lucky enough to still be able to play this. So I guess the question now is, why was it removed from Google Play? Well, if you look at the Riverman Media website, it states several times that this game was made for iOS, not Android. But a decade ago, I literally have proof that I played it on my account, and I can still access the page. But when I download the game, I get an error message by GGGMO, whatever that is. I will say, I did play the free version on Android, but there isn't a free version anymore, to my knowledge. I may have upgraded to the paid version, though that memory is a little fuzzy. My immediate thought was, well, since the website is so prone to declare Apple as its primary platform, was this indie developer part of the Apple Arcade? Well, no, because Apple Arcade wasn't launched until 2019, and this game came out in 2012, and also Apple Arcade is more than just mobile games, plus Pizza vs. Skeletons was not on this list. I checked. Now, thanks to the state of the internet, there are remains and fragments of an Android mode scattered about, and some have attempted to archive it for the sake of preservation. Although, for an Android user, the question of, if I install this on a third-party site, will I get a virus, plagues at my very mind. I want to actually play this game for myself, but the logistics of that seem complicated. Even if I do install it, I still need to answer how and why it initially got removed. Wikipedia even says that it was released on Android, yet says absolutely nothing about its removal. One theory is that it was removed due to not complying to new Play Store rules. And this same person who made this claim made a list of games that have been removed from Google Play. Literally, I kid you not, hundreds of games. Flappy Bird is an obvious one. Super Stickman Golf was a classic. I remember that one. And then number 242. Pizza vs. Skeleton. This would make sense due to the fact that, yes, it is a broken app in the Google Play Store. This means that even if you purchased it, which I believe I did, it does not matter because you no longer have access to it. If I could buy a physical version of this game, I would in a heartbeat. Put Pizza vs. Skeleton on Steam, please. Because maybe my nostalgia goggles are on, but I swear, honestly, this was one of the best mobile games that I've ever played. And it was by an indie developer at that. The other game that I wanted to mention was WidgetRPG. What was really unique about this game that really made it stand out was it wasn't just an app, but rather a widget that would just sit on your phone. I remember playing this a decade ago, but of course, nowadays, it can only be played with a shady Android APK file. And no, we're not going down that rabbit hole. WidgetRPG was a collaborative effort between 3 brothers, Merrick, Martin, and McCall, who together created Ruthreak Interactive. This game got so popular that several websites interviewed them, which revealed revealed at the time that this was their third project collectively. It was compatible with smartwatches, that there were plans to keep it as a ongoing experience as well as publish more games, and their closing message is one that I personally fully agree with, since it's basically the heart of this channel. We would like to encourage the readers to play indie games and support indie developers. That's the easiest way to experience something new and to find interesting ideas in games that are different than games from big studios that are in most cases afraid to come up with something completely fresh and unique. We would also like to encourage those who have interesting ideas to create their own applications. You can learn a lot about app development, design, PR, etc. Moreover, that feeling when your application reaches the first 10,000 downloads, when you read positive reviews, or when you earn your first dollar is all worth the effort and sacrifice you had to make. That feeling is priceless. Gameplay wise, it's probably the simplest game you will ever play. That is, if this game was still available. You place the app and widget on your home screen, tap the thumbprint numerous times, then open the app to see what you've gained and how much you've leveled up. This in a way is an updated version of those text adventure games, except here you have a customizable character, an inventory for weapons and items, a famebook page for stats, Wikipedia for a full list of collectibles, and Google Maps to give a visual representation of where your character is and where he is going. So, the obvious question is, what happened to the game? Well, it's no longer available on Google Play, but apparently it was like 7 months ago, meaning this removal is fairly recent, I guess. That is very strange. It's not even their newest game, and I say it like that because it looks like this, which is also not available on the Google Play Store. And yes, in case you're wondering, neither of these games appear on the Apple Arcade or Apple App Store. On Google Play, only 2 apps remain: Stifle, a competitive Match 2 game, and News Center Forza, a game news app for only the Forza games. Personally, I find it a bit strange why they would remove their most popular game, but maybe this is a similar situation to the previous game, where it was removed due to not being update software-wise, or something like that. So either they removed their own game or Google Play did. Most likely the devs didn't remove their most popular game, but honestly there just really isn't a clear answer, even though their Facebook page is also down.
Ugh, man, this is eating me alive. The fact that there isn't a clear answer for both games is a little bit weird.
Well, actually, the more I dug, the more answers I found. Ruthreek Initiative became a tech agency who works for clients, especially to aid in services with data engineering, software development, consulting, and basically everything that doesn't have to do with game development, which would make sense why the game no longer exists, so that way they could rebrand this company. Although you think that they would use that success to their own leverage, but it seems like that they didn't really need to use that example, considering that apparently they've worked for Fortune 500 companies, so good for them. So that answers possibly why WidgetRPG no longer exists. A rebrand. But Pizza vs. Skeletons? I don't know. So I emailed the developers and got no response. Sometimes mysteries are unsolved, and that's okay. Or if you know why Pizza vs. Skeletons is no longer on Google Play, let me know in the comments. In fact, if there are any dead mobile games that you know of, let me know.
The more important fact is that these games are why digital preservation and physical copies are a must when it comes to media. The fact that these companies like Google can just remove anything from their store without warning, even if you spent money on it, is such a darn shame. If you like an artist and their work, support it any way you can, especially when it comes to a physical version of said art.
Hello and welcome to the bonus video. I just recorded the video about dead mobile indie games. So in this bonus video, we're going to talk about some of the best indie games I've played on the phone. Now, these didn't necessarily come from this year. These are just like a general